Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel Synergize with Sudhasha. First of all, a very happy Friendship Day to all of you. Wish you are a good friend and your friends are good to you as well. Life is better with true friends. They are the rays of sunshine in our lives. But a small point to note here. Just as you choose your words wisely to speak, you also need to choose your friends wisely. Remember, you are who you are by the virtue of company you keep. As committed to you, I am back in 6 days with part 2 of the video that talks about the learnings of Lord Dattatrey from his second guru, water. Just as water is never proud of what it does for the existence of human life on earth and seeks the lowliest of places, we must be humble in our speech, in our communication, by choosing our words wisely. And in doing so, we don't have to suppress our opinions or let go of our desires. We can communicate effectively yet politely by being assertive. Remember, you can always change your style of communication from either passive or aggressive to assertive, and that's what we spoke in our last video. I'll narrate a small story which emphasizes on the power of words. An Indian king invited a learned astrologer to study his horoscope and tell him about his future. The astrologer studied it thoroughly and did his calculations well. Finally, he gave his verdict. "Raja," he said, "all your relatives will die before you. You will burn their funeral pyres with your own hands." The king's temper flared as he loved his family dearly. So, in a fit of fury, he unsheathed his sword and struck down the astrologer dead. Years later, another famous astrologer visited his kingdom. Curious to know his future again, the king summoned the scholar to his court. This astrologer also studied the king's horoscope thoroughly and did his calculations well. He came to the same conclusions as the previous astrologer. "Raja," he said, "you have a very long life. All your relatives are very fortunate that you will be there to comfort and care for them in the dusk of their lives." This also meant that all his relatives would die while the king was still alive, and that he would have to burn their bodies himself. But the prediction that he would be there to look after them till the very end greatly pleased the king. He richly rewarded this astrologer. This is what exactly choosing the right words to communicate and being humble in your communication means. Now let's talk about part 2 of the video, which mentions other aspects of communication which add to humility in speech but without using words. When a person communicates, he uses all 3 components of communication. Verbal, those are the spoken and written words. Paraverbal, the way in which he communicates or how a person speaks. And third, non-verbal communication is without using words for communication. I would like to quote Professor Albert Mehrabian's model of communication. According to him, all the 3 elements of communication need to be in congruence. That is, they should support each other in order to make an effective communication. Let's understand this with an example. So, if I say, "I'm there for you, I care for you," and in my body language, I avoid making eye contact with you and I demonstrate closed body language, then in this case it is quite likely that the receiver will trust the message communicated through non-verbal communication, as it accounts to 55% of impact on communication. The next is paraverbal, which accounts to about 38% impact on communication. And lastly, the verbal communication, which accounts to only 7% impact on communication. Paraverbal or paralinguistic communication is actually not what we say, but how we say something. How the words are spoken, the pitch, the pace, the tone, the words that are stressed, all these actually influences a listener more than spoken words. Pitch is how high or low you speak. Pace is how fast or slow you speak. And tone is the modulation of rise and fall in your voice while speaking. If I say, "Hello everyone, today you are going to listen to the components of communication," would you be interested in listening to me? Of course not. Why? Because I have not used the right pitch, the right tone, and the right pace in my communication. Non-verbal communication comprises of body language that has to be in sync with what you speak. What you don't say matters. When you watch Charlie Chaplin's silent videos, you understand everything despite no words involved. This is the power of body language. Body language comprises of many components again, but I'm going to talk about the most important component of body language, and that is, yes, of course, smile. A smiling face is always so pleasant to look at, as it increases the face value. The smile has to be genuine though, directly from the heart. There are many other advantages of smile. First, it is inexpensive. Second, it is contagious. And third, it makes you look beautiful. Doesn't it? Body language also covers a lot of other important aspects of non-verbal communication, like your eye contact, your facial expressions, your posture, your hand gestures, handshake, and so on. But I have talked only about smile because this is what adds humility to your speech. To wrap up, I'm going to share few tips on how to be effective in your communication, and that too politely. Choose your words wisely. What you speak matters a lot. Not only what you speak, keep a check on how you speak. Yet another tip worth knowing is be a good listener. We are taught how to read, write, and speak, but unfortunately, we are not taught how to listen. Develop listening skills. Be assertive. That is, I am okay, you are okay. Neither passive nor aggressive. Your body language has to be in sync with what you speak. Please don't quit smiling and see how miracles happen. I hope both of my videos brought clarity to you about the way of communicating with people effectively and yet humbly or politely. In my next video, I'm presenting to you the third guru of Lord Dattatrey, which is one of the 5 main elements of nature, and that is wind. Stay tuned. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Like and share my video. You can always leave your suggestion and feedback in the comments below. Thank you, and I'll be back soon.